Hi, my little learners. So, once again, Minnie is back at your learning platform, Learn Forward, with your book, The Grammar Hub by Feather Cap for Grade 4. And today, going ahead, we'll be learning more about verbs. That is chapter 9 of your book, and we have verbs in different forms. What are those forms? Let's learn about them, children. Here's an exercise for you. Match the names, that are the names of animals, with the suitable verbs that are there, the sounds they make. Okay, what's the sound of an elephant? What does an elephant do? Yes, it trumpets. Next, a lion. That's the roar of a lion. So it roars. And what does a duck make sound? A duck. Brilliant. You remember the sounds you learned in your lower grades. A duck quacks and a horse neighs. Yes, here we have the sound. And the frog, it croaks. And the monkey, it chatters. So, these are the different sounds that the animals make. Now, carrying on the journey ahead, we are going to learn verbs. And what are verbs? You have just told me that verbs are doing words, or we also say they are actions. That is brilliant. Perfect answer. But is that all in verbs? No, we have something more also in verbs. What else do we have in verbs? The verbs also show the possessions. And what is included in possession? Do you remember you have done the different forms of have? That is, you have studied about using has, have, had. These words are also included in verbs. Sometimes they act as helping verbs, and sometimes they are the main verbs, which we'll be learning ahead after the introduction of verbs. And the third thing that we include in verbs is existence. What do you mean by existence? If you say, I am your teacher, so I am telling about how do I exist? I am your teacher. And if it was in past, I would say, I was a student. So when I was like you, I was a student. So I am telling about my being, my existence. That also is included in verbs. And what do we use here? We use the different forms of be. That is, are, am, was, were, will be, shall be. All these are also a part of verbs. They are included in the definition of verbs, right? So, three things that are included in verbs, out of which you have learnt about actions only. We'll be learning more about. They are actions, they show possession, and they show existence also, right? Now, what is there in verbs? The words that show action, they show the state of being, that means existence. These are the be forms I have told you, and the possession, that is the have form of verbs. So, most verbs express action, that is, we all know whatever is there in the sentence, whatever an action is being done, that is a verb. So, most of them are actions, but apart from that, what we have is, we have possession from the words has, have, had, will have, shall have, and existence, the state of being, from the words is, are, am, was, were, will be, and shall be. So these are specified, and all other words that show action, they come under the category of doing words, actions. Is that clear to all of you? So can we move ahead? Okay. Yes. Now the verbs can be classified as main verbs and the helping verbs. Let's try to understand the meaning of main and helping. Suppose you are doing a project and somebody is helping you. So the help, the support comes only when the main work is being done by you. But if you don't do anything, the other person is doing, where is the help gone? It's not helping. The other person has taken your place now. So he or she is the main doer, right? So a verb can be helping only when there is another main action which is going on, right? So remember that helping verb is there only when there is a main verb, right? So a sentence can sometimes have more than one verb, like Meena dances gracefully. If we look at this sentence, what is the action here? What is the verb here? Yes, good, brilliant. That is dances. And this is the only work being done here. So this is your main verb. This is the main action that is going on. And if we say Meena is dancing gracefully. Now here again, what is the main action going on? That's the action of dancing. But there is another verb in the sentence that is helping this verb out and telling the time of this action. So what is that verb? It is is. It is helping to tell the time of the action, the tense of the action. So we say this is the helping verb. Now here what do you see? In the first sentence there is only one verb, that is the main verb. And here we have two words in the verb. One is, the other one is dancing. Out of which, what is the main action? Dancing. So dancing is the main verb and the supporting verb is, which is the helping verb. I hope you have understood. Let's go ahead now. A verb which supports the main verb to form the structure of the sentence, to tell the tense of the sentence, that is called the helping verb, and we also call it the auxiliary verb. Both names are there. The helping verb is also called the auxiliary verb, and is, are, am, was, were, these are words. Sometimes has, have, had. They also help in telling the tense of the sentence, in completing the structure of the sentence. So they are all helping verbs. Now what you have to remember is be, have, and do. These can be used both as the main verb and as the helping verb also. As I just told you, a helping verb can be there only when the main verb is there. But if these verbs stand alone in the sentence, there is no other verb, then they are not helping out anybody, any other verb. So they become the main verb. How? Let's see the example here. Mark is an intelligent boy. Now in this sentence, what is the verb? Only is, and it is standing alone. So is the main verb here, right? But in the second we say Mark is playing football. Now what's the main action here in this sentence? Yes, it is playing. So playing is the main verb here. But what is doing here? It is supporting the main verb in telling the tense. It is supporting the main verb in giving the structure to the sentence. So now here is becomes the helping verb or the auxiliary verb for the main verb play, right? I hope this is clear to you. Help comes only when the main task is being done. Remember this. Otherwise, it becomes the main. Now, here's an exercise for you. Fill in the blanks with the verbs from the boxes. So, you have been given different actions here. Let's see which one suits here. We dash the plants every day. So, what action do you do with the plants every day? Do you hear them? Do you study them? Do you read them? Do you order them? Do you water them or do you rote them? Yes, we water them. So, this is your first answer. We water the plants every day. Next, I dash from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day. What do you do from 6 to 8 p.m.? Yes, I study. That's perfect. Do you dash that parrot? It is so noisy. Now, noise is disturbing. So, what are you doing with the noise? Yes, do you hear? That means, is it only I who is getting disturbed, or you can also hear that parrot? Anshika dash an interesting story. Anshika, sorry, reads an interesting story. Perfect. We need to dash some cakes for the party. So you have to, brilliant answer. You have to order some cakes. My father dashed the newspaper in the morning. Oh, see, here we have made a mistake. Anshika can read also, she can write also the interesting story. But when you come to your father, he can read the newspaper, but do you think he can write also? No, that means this option is not for sentence number 6. We will have to exchange it with sentence number 4. I'll say my father reads the newspaper daily. So this will be number 6. And Anshika wrote an interesting story. So this will be your number 4, right? So sometimes a word is suitable in 2 sentences, but then we have to fix which one goes perfect with each one of them. I hope you have understood this, wrote and read. Let's move to the next forms of verbs. One is, these are 2 different forms again, transitive and intransitive verbs. What are transitive and intransitive verbs? We can understand with the words dependent and the word independent. Can you see this in is common here, right? So independent means somebody who stands alone can do the work by himself, right? And dependent means I need somebody's help to do something, isn't it? Same are transitive and intransitive verbs. The transitive verbs are dependent in the sense that they need somebody's help, some other word to complete its meaning. But the intransitive verbs are independent of any other word. That means they give their own meaning, right? How? Let's see. Now, the transitive verb needs an object to complete its meaning. That means when an action is being moved to an object. For example, if I say I write, I cut. So what do I write? What do I cut? Here arises a question and my sentence is not complete till I give an object to it. What do I write? I write a story. What do I cut? I cut fruits, right? So fruits and story, these are the words that are giving complete meaning to the verbs. So my verbs are dependent on the object fruits. My verb is dependent on the object story to complete the sense of the sentence, right? So these verbs are transitive verbs. Let's read the sentence here. I baked a cake. If I stop at baked and I just say I baked, so what did I bake? A question arises. What did I bake? What did you bake? So I need to complete the sentence using this word, this noun, which is called the object of the verb. So without this, the verb is not giving complete meaning. That means it is dependent. So this verb is transitive verb. Right? Here, the action is getting transferred. I am baking, and what am I baking? I am baking the cake. So this is the object of the verb. It is receiving the action of baking, right? I am the person who is baking. I am the doer of action, and cake is being baked. So that is the receiver of action. That is the object of the verb. So this is transitive verb. But if I say I ran, I laughed, so there is some object there which is receiving my action. If I say I laughed is complete in itself. It doesn't need anybody who is any noun who is receiving the laughter, isn't it? So we say such verbs are independent and they are intransitive verbs. Like the book fell. So there is nobody to receive the action of falling of the book, isn't it? Just like I said, I cut vegetables. I am cutting, but who is receiving, who is being cut? The fruits are being cut. Here, the book fell. Who is anybody receiving the action of falling? No. So this has independent structure here. So this independent gives you the word intransitive. I hope this is clear to you now. Independent is intransitive and dependent is transitive. Let's see the next sentence here. Oh, the one I have already given. I laughed. So laughter is not accepted by any other noun. So I laughed on my own, and this is giving a complete meaning. It is independent. So it is again intransitive. If you have understood, let's proceed with an exercise here to check how much you have understood. Identify the underlined verb as transitive or intransitive. So what you will check out? Just check whether that action is complete without the object or not. How? See, the postman delivered something, and you need to know what did he deliver. Did he deliver a letter, a telegram, some money order, some parcel? We need to complete. So an object is needed. What did he deliver? The letters. This is your object. So what type? Is it dependent or independent? It's dependent. Very good. That means it is transitive verb. Good. Coming to the next, the children play. So is it important to tell what do they play? They might be switching to different games when they are playing in the evening in the park. So the children play has its complete meaning, and you need not tell what they are playing, whether they are playing cricket, they are playing badminton, they are playing hide and seek, or they are just running a race, they are playing on the swings, on the slides. That is complete without the object. So that means this verb is independent here. So it is good answer. It is intransitive. I hope my clue will help you out. Independent is intransitive, right? Let's move to the next. We celebrated. Oh, we celebrated. But what did you celebrate? You need to tell. So this is again dependent on the object. You need to tell what did you celebrate. My excellent results. Object is needed. It is dependent. That means transitive. Next, the class teacher arrived. That's perfect. Even if you say the class teacher arrived, you stop here. It's meaningful. The class teacher has come. The class teacher has entered. It's perfectly fine. So arrived is independent of the object. So it is intransitive. Next, please tell me a bedtime story today. So what is that? Tell. What do you have to tell? It is not giving complete meaning. That means it is dependent and it is transitive. I hope you have understood. Will you like to do these 3 sentences yourself? Just put a question whether the verb needs an object or not to give a complete meaning. If it is dependent on the object, it is transitive. If it is independent of the object, it is intransitive. Will you do that? Good. So that shows your confidence. That was all in transitive and intransitive verbs. We'll be coming ahead with another session on verbs. Till then, enjoy learning. Keep practicing the verbs that we have studied. See you then in the next session. Happy learning, children.